Back at it with another video within only 1 week. Who would have guessed? Who would have known? This video is actually of high importance to me. I would argue more importance than the couples video because I always tend to gravitate towards friendships more than relationships. I love friendships. I usually have more to say about it. So I'm very excited for this one. Unrelated, but if you can see my tabs and whatnot, I am currently downloading my entire TikTok library just to be preventative. Never know what could happen come tomorrow for me. So that's why that's there. But okay, getting into this, I do want to let people know ahead of time, I am holding my phone in my hands. No more phone on my stomach. I've learned my damn lesson. So here we have 5 categories. I did rename these all from what they were originally named. As always, I'll link this tier list at the description bar in case you want to do it yourself. That'll be super fun. But yeah, I renamed them and here is what we have. So at the very top we have spectacular, give me 14 of them, right? So that's obviously a TikTok sound, rest in peace. And it just means I love these friendships. I literally, like, if they have scenes, I'm smiling. I think they're really good friends, or even if they have moments, right, where they're not in the best in terms of friendship, I just love these pairings. Then we have I want what they have. I already have a pretty good set friend group. Like, I'm very blessed in that respect, but sometimes you just see friendships and you're like, I really want what they have. I love that. Versus love it but not for me is like my middle tier, and it basically means I love these pairings objectively, right, but they're not for me. Like, hope these friendships never find me personally. Then I have why are they friends, which can be for many different reasons. It's not always necessarily negative, although I guess it kind of is, right? It basically just means like, why are these people friends? Either because it makes no sense for them to be friends within the show, or they've just gone through so much and like, I'm like, why are they literally still friends? I don't get it. Or maybe they're just boring and I'm like, why are they friends? I don't know. Although I think more boring friendships will be in the last category, no one moved. I couldn't really think of like a negative tier for friendships because usually friendships aren't that toxic. So no one moved is just like, okay, like nobody cares about these friendships, you know. I wish I could get rid of this Prime advertisement. Ew. But anyway, so we have all the pairings down here. And let's start with the very first one, which is Imogen and Becky. And I kind of briefly mentioned and went over them, I think in my very first couple ranking in my last video, because I believe that Imogen and Adam were the first pairing. And I'm pretty sure I said there, and I agree, that I love Imogen and Becky. They actually became one of my favorite friendships for that generation of the show after all the stuff that they went through. Like, it is kind of weird and sus that Imogen never mentioned to Becky, from my prior knowledge, from what I remember. I don't think Imogen ever told Becky that Imogen had gotten with Adam that summer that he died, when Becky and Adam were very much still dating, and that is always going to be so weird for me. And for that reason, I don't think I can put them in like I want what they have. I think they're a good example of like love it but not for me, because I don't think I would be okay with my friend. They weren't friends at the time, they became friends after, but the lack of, from what I remember, the lack of transparency about your history with my boyfriend would be like a big like no for me. Like, okay, I don't like that. And then Peter and Danny. So Peter had like so many friendships. I really feel like, in my opinion, you could really just put Peter and I think it's the Stooges, right, all together, and that could be like a friendship group instead of necessarily a friendship pairing that I feel strongly about. But I guess with them, I can just put them in like I want what they have, and I'll put like all of the Stooges there, because yeah, who wouldn't want to have like a friendship group where you're in a band together with your best mates, and you have like just a strong friendship, pretty unproblematic for the most part. They just rocked out, did their stuff with their music, and that was that, you know. And then we have, let me zoom in, Imogen and Bianca. I barely remember their friendship, but I'm pretty sure they must have had one, because clearly that's from the wedding episode, or almost wedding episode, so they must have had a pretty close friendship. I feel like I kind of remember it because I remember that Fiona and Drew were roommates, and that might have been around the time that Imogen and Fiona were dating, but I'm gonna just put it in like no one moved, because I didn't really remember their friendship. It didn't leave much of an impact on me, but it makes sense, like girlfriends of roommates, if that's what was going on, because I'm pretty sure it was the girlfriends / close friends, right? Because Fiona and Imogen were just close friends in the beginning, of like roommates becoming friends. I don't know. It's nice. It's cute. Then we have Ellie and Ashley. They were like one of the very first friendships that Ellie had on the show. But not her longest lasting friendship, clearly, because Ashley kind of was in and out of the show a lot after like season 4 and 5, I believe. So obviously Ellie has stronger friendships later on, which I would love to talk about more so. So I'm gonna put them, they are not spectacular. I do not necessarily, I can put them in, I don't really want what they have either. And I really think they just belong in no one moved. Didn't leave much of an impact, this friendship, to me personally. I think Ellie's other friendships were much more impactful later on in the show. These are so freaking tiny. This is Dallas and Adam. We can put this in I want what they have, but this is even like more so than just friendship, because if I remember, someone tell me if I'm wrong, I think Drew and Dallas, weren't they like cousins or something of the sort, which means that Adam and Dallas are also cousins. So it's more of like a family bond. But yeah, I just love Adam's connections with most people. Adam will be on the top of this list a lot. Even though he lacked in the relationship department, he really did not lack in the friendship department. And I don't know if this this chart, that's not what I meant to say, this chart. I always have troubles with my C's and S's. I don't know if they're going to have trios. It's looking like maybe no, but just know that the trio of like Adam, Claire, and Eli would be literally so near the top. Then we have Paige and Marco. Obviously, I think I can put them in spectacular. Give me 14 of them. Do I want to put them there, or do I want to just put them? I think I'll put them in spectacular, because I don't know if I necessarily want what they have. And when I say that, I just mean like Degrassi Takes Hollywood. Degrassi Takes Hollywood ruined so much of this trio of friendship, once again, that I really loved. And it has been debated and argued that the trio friendship of Paige, Marco, and Ellie was never really a trio. It was more like Ellie was really close with Marco, Paige was really close with Marco, and then as a result, Paige and Ellie were friends kind of by association. But even then, I consider it a trio in a different respect than like, say, Adam, Eli, and Claire, which I loved. But within Paige and Marco specifically, they had such a deep bond for so many years. It's in a different sphere than Ellie and Marco, which we'll obviously have to get to eventually. I know they're going to be on here, but I still really liked them. And I wish we could have seen more friendships that were this long lasting and this impactful. And it just sucks the way they ended. And that's why I can't even really put them in like, I want what they have. Maybe I can put them in like, love it, but not for me. But I think, I don't know. I think I like them there. I think I'm okay with that. And then we have Peter and Riley. I can put Peter and Riley in I want what they have in a different way than the Stooges, because I think Peter was always so there for Riley. It's crazy. Like my LGBT king, you know, my ally. I think that was one of the best friendships on the show. Riley actually had some pretty solid friendships. He'll also be pretty high on this list with his friendships. I just wish we could have seen like more of it, I guess, but I really liked their friendship together, and I really thought Peter was like a really solid character when he was with Riley, because if you know anything about me from previous Degrassi videos, I'm not a big Peter stan, period, but his friendships, especially like the one with Riley, with the Stooges, whatnot, is where he really gets to shine more so than in his romantic relationships. And then we have Mo and Sav. I really did like them as friends. I'll put them in I want what they have. There's one Mo friendship that I'm going to put a little bit higher later on in the list. But yeah, I liked Mo and Sav. I just really liked Mo. I feel like I've made that clear in videos prior as well. I thought Mo was actually a really good character for what it was. I've said it before and I'll say it again, he was never really meant to be like this big A-plot character. That much is clear. I think he literally only had maybe one A-plot, I believe. when he had like diabetes. Well, he's always had diabetes, but when Marisol found out that he had diabetes and she thought that he was like doing drugs because she's 2 brain cells going on in there. But yeah, I liked him, and I really like Sav. Sav is also, like, I think someone I would actually want to be friends with, within the context of Degrassi. Like, if I were to do a list of people I would actually want to hang out with in Degrassi, I would put Sav there, versus, like, characters that I love dearly. Like, I don't know if I'd want to be friends with Claire. That seems like kind of a lot, you know? Then we have Johnny and Bruce, I believe his name was. Okay, I'm going to put this in love it, but not for me. Like a solid friendship. I'm not going to hate on it. And I don't think that both of them did anything too objectively wrong from what I remember. Obviously they were bullies and like kind of, you know, bad boys, if you will. But like, it's not like their fucking ginger best friend who's in jail, in prison where he belongs. These two were just like kind of bantery together. Barely had scenes anyway. They were also very much like C-plot characters. You know, they were never heavy characters, especially Bruce. Was it Bruce or was it Moose? I think it was Bruce, but in case it was Moose and I'm misremembering, let me know. Then we have, is that Craig and Spinner? Craig and Spinner. I can put them in I Want What They Have, sure. They had they had a pretty solid friendship. I think, once again, both of them had stronger friendships. More so Spinner than anybody else. But yeah, I liked their friendship. It was cute. A little weird though. Actually, no, we're going to actually change that because I just remember we can put them in Love It But Not For Me, because I've said this before in a video. Why the hell did Spinner get with Manny after Craig got Manny pregnant and then she aborted the baby? Like literally 1 season after. Why would he do that? Many questions, many thoughts. Then we have Zoe and Grace. I hate that they even have to be put in a friendship list, but unfortunately they have to because they're not an official couple, I guess. Woo! I'm going to put it in spectacular. Give me 14 of them. I've spoken in length before about my feelings about Zoe and Grace. Maybe I need even more length to speak about just how much I loved them and adored them and how much of an impact they had on me in the summer that Don't Look Back came out. I love their friendship. It's like that unexpected pairing of a popular girl, mean girl, and like an outcast kind of, you know. She's also not necessarily mean, but she's kind of like a Janice Ian in a way. Like, you know, it's almost like if Janice Ian and Regina George became best friends, which they had been prior to the events of Mean Girls, right? But they became best friends in like more mature settings. Like, I don't know, it's just that kind of dynamic I really like. Then we have Danny and Jane. I can put them in I Want What They Have. Move it. Because Jane ends up becoming a part of the Stooges later on when Peter kind of drops from that, I believe due to his meth addiction. I believe that's what it was from. I don't remember 100%. And Danny was obviously a part of that. And he was also one of the only guys on the football team at the time when she was going through that relentless harassment from all the guys on the team for the most part. He was one of the only guys, if not the only, to actually stand up for her and have her back and be by her side. And I gotta appreciate that. And they just had like a solid, good friendship, you know, like it was solid. Then we have Dallas and Drew, again, kind of like, I think they were cousins, so we have that aspect to it. But yeah, I Want What They Have. Like, they had a really solid friendship, a really good bond. They didn't really cause problems for one another, which is always great to see. And then Katie and Claire kind of fall in the vein of like Imogen and Bianca in terms of your boyfriends, who will be on this list later. Your boyfriends are friends, so as a result, you are hanging out. It's like the girlfriend club, and I really liked them. I actually wish we'd gotten more of them, and it's actually really interesting. It seems like Chloe and Aislinn Paul are like pretty decent. They have to be pretty good friends off set still, because I think they went on a trip to like together like a few years back, like maybe to Europe or something. Like, they just have a really good chemistry as friends, and so I can put them in I Want What They Have. I think that was a really interesting dynamic, and I really strongly believe that when Katie was introduced, she was supposed to be like a Claire-esque character, but then her characterization really changed throughout the course of the seasons that she was on. So I really think that them becoming friends later on, even though originally Katie was actually pretty brutal to Claire, I think it actually makes sense because I think they have a lot more in common that they would probably have known or seen from each other in like the very beginning when they first met. Then we have Jenna and oh my god, Jake. No one moved because I don't remember this. Like, I don't remember it being a significant enough friendship for it to be on this particular list. So for that reason, no one moved. But I'm sure it was a good friendship because Jake is just so charismatic. Like, Justin Kelly is so charismatic that he has chemistry with almost anyone. And I really love Jake's friendships. We'll get into 2 of his favorite friendships of mine later on. And then we have Ashley and is that Terry? I can put them in I want what they have. There's going to be so many couples, so many pairings of friendships, and I want what they have, because Spectacular takes a really special spot, and we haven't gotten here yet, but we will. So yeah, I want what they have. Like, they just had such a good friendship. I wish you could have seen more of it. I think that Ashley was like, probably her best friendship to me was with Terry, and occasionally with Paige whenever she decided to like be friendly with Paige, because I don't know, they have just such a good chemistry and like a good bond, and I just wish we could have seen more of it. Obviously Terry left the show pretty early on, and those first seasons were short, so the few episodes we really did get with like a focus on them was nice to see. Yeah. Then we have Frankie and Esme. We can put them in Why Are They Friends? Because even though I did state in my couple video that I kind of liked the triangle they had going on with Zig, because I'm a toxic, messy person, it actually makes no sense why they would be friends. Really, why anyone would be friends with Esme, period, because Esme is very toxic. And, like, again, if I were to make a video of people I'd actually want to be friends with, Esme would not be on that list, not even close. And that's someone who's an Esme stan. I love Esme, one of my favorite characters. But would I want to be friends with her? Absolutely not. And Frankie is just like such a, or at least for the most part, she's presented as such a well-rounded, like, good judge of character kind of person for the most part. Not always, right? But for the most part. So her being friends with Esme kind of is like, okay. Then we have Fiona and Dallas. Now listen, I love Fiona. I'm sure most of her friendships will be at the top of this list. So this one will too, ultimately. It's just like one of those characters where the show really had to come up with unique ways to still incorporate her into the story, because she's the only person from the season 11 graduating class who did not graduate until season 12. She was basically a super senior because she had to go back a year due to her issues that she had during her senior year, her plethora of issues. So they really had to find a way to incorporate her into this new, like, class generation that she basically never interacted with before. Like, she had never interacted with, like, you know, Eli, obviously not with Dallas because he was, like, new to the show, with Imogen. Like, she'd never interacted with these people before, and now all of a sudden she was plunged into their class and she had to make friends, and she did make friends. You know, like, she made some of my favorite bonds of hers after she had to leave, like, Holly J and, like, Anya and everything behind because they had graduated without her. So all that to say, I really do like Fiona and Dallas. I just like Fiona with most of the people from this specific generation. Fiona's just such a likable person, and I think the show did a really good job of incorporating her into a whole new class that she had previously, like, basically never interacted with. Then we have Ellie and Alex. I think they were really only ever friends in a significant way, I believe, was when Ellie, I'm 3 brain cells right now, when Ellie was dating Sean, and then obviously Alex was dating Jay. And I remember them being good, once again, like, girlfriend club association, but I'm gonna put it like love it but not for me. Yeah, I don't know, it's like not at that time. I feel like Alex was not that good of a person, so just because, you know, our boyfriends are dating, I don't think that necessarily means I want to be friends with you. So, like, cute in theory, and I still do love it, but I just think I would put it, like, not for me, personally. Then we have Paige and Terry. Paige and Terry, love it, but not for me as well. I do really like them and their friendship, I almost put them in like spectacular or I want what they have. But then I remembered kind of like how Paige treated Terry in the very beginning before she got over herself. And I just can't really look past some of that. I think if I was Terry, I would be traumatized. But once they did become friends, like I think post season 1, you know, like season 2 and 3, they had a really strong, solid friendship. And Paige was really just like a great friend to a lot of the people who she was friends with, which is why her ending in Degrassi Takes Hollywood sucks so much. Then there's Manny, right? Yeah, Manny and Toby. I'm going to put it in like, I want what they have. I love that class of friends. I think a lot of their friendships are going to be near the top. But Toby, unfortunately, as a whole, did not make much impact as, you know, within the show. There was not much movement there for his character. So none of his friendships, except for maybe one, are really going to be too high on this list. And then Katie and Marisol are like prime example of love it, but not for me. I like their friendship in theory, and I really like their friendship at the end once they worked past their issues, but I'll never in my entire life get over Marisol's treatment of Katie in that eating disorder episode. Like, that could not be me. Like, if that were my friend, I would just simply never talk to them again. I would never forgive them. We would be done. So I love it, but not for me. Then we have Maya and Tiny. A friendship that ended up making sense ultimately, right? Because Tiny changes so much as a character as his time on the show progresses. So we can put that in I want what they have. They had a really good friendship. Maya's friendships in general also pretty strong. Even if it's like with an ex-boyfriend, like her friendships are just strong. She's just kind of a good friend, except for the one time that she kind of wasn't, which we'll talk about, I'm assuming. Then we have Sav and... oh my god, I don't remember this person's name. Is that Danny? Yeah, I think that's Danny. I was like, it's a weird photo. But yeah, like I said, we can put most of the Stooges in I want what they have. I love the Stooges. I think they're solid characters. Then we have Casey and Bianca. Love it, but not for me. Like, them being friends makes sense because they come from, like, I guess a similar enough background of, like, troubled homes. We saw that even in because I literally rewatched season 10 episodes, like, literally 2 weeks ago. I was bored. And I saw how they first kind of met in their first interaction, and that does kind of make sense. It was kind of in character for Casey at the time, and especially for Bianca at the time. But I don't remember them from what I remember. I don't remember them having this solid, super strong friendship like much after that, even though this does look like season 12. So yeah, no one, I really could put it almost in no one moved, but I do kind of like when characters that you don't expect, who actually have a lot of things in common, right, but who you don't expect to hang out, do hang out, and they just have like moments where you can really see their characters more openly than you would if they hadn't had interaction. So I do appreciate that. Then we have Claire and Jenna, prime example of love it but not for me. Again, stronger people than me, because I'm not going to become best friends. Like, even if it's been multiple years since and I don't really care about my ex-boyfriend anymore because I've moved on to bigger and better things, I'm not going to become good friends with the person who stole my boyfriend back in freshman year of high school. It's just not happening. But I do like their dynamic, kind of. Actually, no, I can even almost put them in why are they friends? Yeah, I think I would put them in why are they friends, because I do like their dynamic, but I don't think I like their dynamic enough to warrant a love it. That's a pretty strong word. So yeah, why are they friends? Like, actually, like, I understand when Jenna was first introduced, she was kind of put in their group, so they were friends kind of just because Allie wanted it. But after stealing my boyfriend, even if it's been years, like, no, girl, we're not going to be friends like that. And I don't really think they were ever super close friends again. But the fact that they were even friendly, and like, I think they like still had like the same friend group and very much had interactions. Like, I think they went to prom together and stuff. Like, no, it's not for me. And we have Lola and Shay. I can put them in love it but not for me, because I'm not about to be in like a love triangle with one of my best friends. Like, it's just not happening. Like, I like their bond. They had a really good friendship and they had good moments, and, you know, love the friendship, but no, like, I'm not going to be in a messy love triangle with my best friend. Like, it's simply not happening. It's not for me personally. And then if this is who I think it is, this is Ellie and Jimmy. Oh my god. Oh my god. I literally put them, I believe, I had to mention them in my Degrassi couples ranking video that I just did, because I'm pretty sure I mentioned that I actually would have really liked to have seen them together. That's hard. Their friendship is so short-lived. It's not spectacular. I can't necessarily say I want what they have. Love it, but not for me, also doesn't fit them. I guess I can put them in why are they friends, because really their little short arc made absolutely no sense in terms of like, why are they suddenly hanging out? And yeah, they didn't really have like a solid friendship enough for me to put them anywhere higher than that. But I can't say no one moved, because I moved. I actually made so much movement. It was crazy. There was a seismic earthquake that day, because I really wanted them as a pairing. I wanted them as a couple though, not a friendship, and I did not get that. Then we have Eli and Imogen. I can put that, that's tricky, because really, if we're just talking about their friendship, like, do we include season 11 part 1 or not? You know, like, are we including that or not? I'm going to choose to kind of mostly overlook some of that, and I'm going to put them in I want what they have. They literally have such a good bond, and so much chemistry. Like, the two actors had so much chemistry together that I could have almost shipped them. I mentioned that previously. I could have almost shipped them. That's how great of a pairing they were together. But they obviously, when they were kind of in a pairing of sorts, they were pretty, like, toxic on Eli's part, and also kind of on Imogen's part. My girl, she was doing a lot. But I really did like their friendship. Like, when you stick to just their friendship alone, I really like it, and it's great. Then we have Eli and, oh my god, no, it's not. I'm blind. That's Marco. Marco and Jimmy. I can put Marco and Jimmy in, yeah, I can put them in I want what they have. Another solid friend, like, ship that, I don't think it was either of their characters' most impactful friendships, but it was solid and mostly unproblematic. Jimmy always stood up for Marco, and, you know, stuck behind him, 10 toes down. And Marco was never shitty to Jimmy, like some friends are going to later be. So yeah, solid friendship. I really liked them. Then we have JT and, again, is that Danny? Yes. Oh my god, sometimes I think about just how long Danny was on the show for. It's kind of crazy. I can put them, I guess, in like, no one moved. I don't necessarily want what they have. I could even almost kind of put them in why are they friends, but like, it kind of makes sense because I'm pretty sure Danny was Liberty's brother. Don't quote me on that. But I'm pretty sure Danny was Liberty's brother, and obviously JT, as a result, would then become friends with Danny, but, like, I didn't really care about the friendship, and I don't know, it was just like, okay, cool. Then we have Craig and Ellie. I'm not really quite sure why we're putting Craig and Ellie here. I guess they have to be here only because they had never any actual solid, like, relationship in the show, which sucks. I don't want to think about it. So if we're rating them as just a friendship, love it, but not for me. Because what in the hell do I look like having this, like, long, you know, year-spanning, unrequited love for one of my best friends, who actually also does love me back, but he's just a fucking annoying little bitch. And then, I don't know, it's like literally years wasted, time wasted. It's not ideal, the situation. Like, if I really were to think about it, like, if this were me in just if I were Ellie in this situation, which unfortunately I have had friendships like that. I feel every girl has usually had a friendship like the one that Ellie and Craig had, unfortunately. If that were me, like, girl, stand the hell up. Get out of there. Stop being his friend. Do what is best for you, because he clearly is not going to be able to provide that for you. So love it, but not for me. And then Anya and Holly J. I can easily put them, So here's the thing. when I was thinking of these tiers, right, I originally was like, I think I could, like, honestly put Holly J and Anya in spectacular, give me 14 of them, because I do love their friendship so much. But then I also kind of feel like they belong in Love It But Not For Me, because, like, their origins are crazy. Like, Anya, stand up, stop being Holly J's friend. She's a shit person. Do not be her friend. She does not care about you, you know. I'm gonna be nice and I'll put them in spectacular, give me 14 of them, because once they got over their origins post season 10 basically, which is so long, because they graduated in season 11, so they really only had like a season and a half of actually being good friends with each other, like genuine friends, not just like an alpha beta bullying basically type of friendship. They were actually really solid and really strong, and because they had that history for so many years prior, it added this interesting dynamic of, like, Anya originally not really even wanting to be friends with Holly J, like, you know, come season 10, she's like, I actually hate this bitch. But also Holly J kind of caring about Anya because she had been a part of her life for so many years, and vice versa, Anya caring for Holly J. And I don't know, their friendship as the show progressed later on was so good to see. It was one of my favorite parts of, like, that generation, like that class, was Holly J, you know, developing, and like the friendships she developed over time. And even though they kind of belong in Love It But Not For Me, I'll keep them there. Then we have Maya and Tristan, Love It But Not For Me. When Tristan got mad at Maya because she exposed his student-teacher relationship, okay. When they had a messy love triangle with Miles, okay. Like, they are a solid friendship pairing that lasted basically most of their run on the, you know, the show, but messy to no end. And for that reason, it's just not for me. I wouldn't want it for myself. And then Fiona and Drew, I kind of mentioned, like, they were roommates, which is how they ended up becoming friends. I definitely would want what they have. They have a solid friendship. Once again, it's Fiona becoming friends from people of a class that she originally had no interactions with, and now she has to become good friends with these people. Not that she has to, but, you know, she does become good friends with a lot of these people, and I love their dynamic. It's like just a good friend dynamic. It's almost like if Fiona wasn't gay, I could even have shipped it. Like, they had good chemistry, good banter. They played and teased around with each other a lot. I really liked it. And also, it was just nice seeing roommates in Degrassi, because I feel like we don't really get that, because very often, like, what in the hell, why would a teenager be moving out of their house and then living with another teenager? I think we only really ever saw that with Sean and Ellie later on, but that was more of or earlier, shall I say, but that was more of a couple dynamic. Then we have, I Can Already Tell by the Heart, that's Tori and Tristan, right? Yeah. Tori and Tristan, we'll put that in No One Moved, unfortunately. When it comes to Tori, the character, I didn't move much. There was actually little movement. I was pretty still. I didn't really care about her as a character. They had a solid friendship enough, but I didn't really care for it. And they didn't have any super, like, interesting moments together as friends, because Tori never really got anything interesting, in my opinion, and then she left pretty shortly after. So yeah, no one really moved there. Now, Hey Liberty Girlfriend, we're gonna put JT and Toby at spectacular, give me 14 of them. They are a prime example of, like, probably my favorite friendship from that generation specifically, more so even than the female friendships. They were so good with each other. There were definitely times where they had their strifes, but for the most part, they were solid. They remained friends throughout their run on the show, and they were just so unproblematic. I genuinely would not mind having a friendship like what Toby and JT had. They were really solid. Then we have Paige and Ashley. I kind of mentioned this prior, that was kind of a friendship a little bit whenever they felt like hanging out with each other and, you know, being nice. And we're going to put that in I Want What They Have. Yeah. I can't really put them, I could almost put them in Why Are They Friends, because their season 1 dynamic was not amazing for what I remember, because Paige was just, like, really introduced as, like, a mean girl initially. But I don't know, I like their friendship. I wish we could have probably even seen like more of it, but I feel like later on in the seasons we really focus on some of their relationships more than their friendships, and we don't really get to see enough of the two of them together. So that's unfortunate, but I kind of liked, especially like in season 2, I liked their bond and them connecting, and like Ashley being there for her when Paige went through, you know, the rape that she went through and everything. And then Maya and Jonah, I don't really remember their friendship that much, so I'm going to put it in No One Moved for me. I do remember they were friends, but I don't remember the friendship itself that much. It didn't leave much of an impact to me, so it will be No One Moved. Then we have Wesley and Dave, which really we need to put Connor there as well when we're talking about trios. And once again, it's very much like I love it. Like, I love their trio friendship. I think they're the treble tenors or whatever they were called. But I have to put it in love it, but not for me, because I really think I just hate Dave. I think the more I've talked about Degrassi in videos, I've realized the more I dislike Dave. And like I said, I was literally just rewatching season 10 like a few weeks ago, and I don't really like how Dave ever treated Wesley and Connor sometimes. I felt like Dave thought he was better than them, and he full on basically drops them later on as he becomes like quote unquote cool. And Wesley, I feel like from what I remember, what the hell ever happened to Wesley? Barely see him again. And then Connor kind of like becomes more of a solo character until he's paired with Jenna, because I feel like we barely see him. So yeah, I liked the trio in theory and stuff, like 3 nerds all hanging out, whatever, but Dave was just kind of the worst. He kind of ruined it. Like, I feel like if there was like a Wesley Connor friendship dynamic focus, I would have enjoyed that more, just like the shenanigans they got up to. And now we have 2/3 of my favorite trio on the show, so I have to put them in spectacular. Give me 14 of them. Eli and Adam. My only complaint is that I wish we would have gotten more of it. I feel like after season 11, and really you could even argue after season 10, that trio, I think they were called the Golden Trio, they barely had scenes together. And in fairness, that's also in large part because when Claire and Eli broke up in the end of season 10, they did not get back together, okay, until like freaking season 12. Right? So we had like an entire season, a drought, if you will, with no Eli and Claire, really. And as a result, it's like Adam would have been stuck in the middle. So I feel like we still get scenes of him with Eli, and then we still get scenes of him with Claire sometimes, but it's no longer that trio. And I think out of the friendships that he had, I do probably think that his friendship with Eli was stronger. Just from what I remember, I feel like we saw him more with Eli after the breakup. And I just really liked their friendship. I really love Eli and I love Adam, and they just have good chemistry together and good banter, and I love it. Then we have, I'm so serious, No One Moved. I'm almost done with even ranking Next Class at this point. I need to just rewatch the show. I need to get off my ass. It seems like nobody wants to work these days, right? Like, I need to sit down and actually just watch Next Class, because I'm so tired of these rankings with Next Class people, and then I don't remember damn shit about it. I don't remember their fucking friendship. I think, if I remember correctly, I think he's the guy who kind of helped her fully be able to process and move on from the, like, depression, I guess, that she was going through in Next Class and whatnot, from what I remember. But you think I remember their damn friendship? Hell no, I don't. Then we have Paige and JT. Spectacular, give me 14 of them. Because their friendship was so unexpected. It probably belongs in Why Are They Friends? Because really, why is Paige friends with JT? But like, no, it actually, I feel like makes total sense that you would want to be friends with this underclassman who like absolutely adores you, and like stars are in his eyes when he looks at you and when talks about you, and he just doesn't judge you and is so there for you. And he really was such a good friend to her. I would argue one of the best when the time that they were friends. I think JT, for the most part, had really solid female friendships. I also really liked his friendship with Manny. And with Paige, it was just so good because it never, ever really went romantic, because Paige was like, absolutely not, never gonna happen. And he got over that pretty quickly, and then they just had such a strong bond. And I think it also just helps that it's a different generation friendship at a time where I feel like we didn't have too many different generation interactions that weren't just like romantic pairings. You know, like we didn't really have much friendships with, you know, sophomores hanging out with freshmen and vice versa, blah, blah. So it was nice to see a friendship that actually was like that, and it lasted for a good chunk of the show, and I really like that. Then we have Anya and Shantae. I don't know. No one moved. I don't really care. Sorry. It was nice that Shantae was actually like a good friend, but unfortunately, kind of like with other characters that I mentioned on this list, Shantae was like very inconsequential. Didn't really matter as a character, so I couldn't feel this like strong connection for her friendships because we barely got anything from her. Sorry. And now already I see two friendships that are two of my favorites. I said that Jake is very charismatic, and I actually really like him as a character, and for that reason I'm just going to double whammy. We're putting Jake and Mo up here and Jake and Eli up here. So to start with Jake and Mo, I love this dynamic. This is like goofy friends, the shenanigans they get up to, unproblematic, carefree, there for each other, care about each other. I absolutely love them. Give me 14 of them. Every friendship needs to be like this. And then Jake and Eli, if you told me, like I said, when the show started, and like, well, not when the show started, but when Jake was introduced to the show in season 11, if you told me that I would be here shipping a Jake and Eli friendship, I would have laughed in your face. Obviously, I would have wanted that because I like the actors' friendship together from their previous working together on the latest Buzz, but never did I actually think that Jake and Eli, the characters, should or would be friends, because Jake was pissing me the fuck off in season 11 and Eli was a dramatic little emo. But then they really changed Eli's characterization a little bit, and also Jake kind of just became the goofy fun guy after his relationship, well, the fun goofy hippie, if we will, after his breakup with Claire. And then them two becoming friends after Claire started dating Eli again was so iconic. The shenanigans they got up to, them smoking weed together, just so funny. Their short film that they made, they have great chemistry. Like, it's actually crazy, and their friendship is literally one of the highlights of the later Degrassi, like season 12 for me. Never would have I expected these two people to be friends, but then once they did become friends, I was like, wow, I literally could see no other way that their dynamic could go. Then we have Jenna and Becky. No one moved. Be serious. I will say, I think I made a comment a long time ago in a Degrassi video that Becky would be one of my worst characters, and I don't think I can confidently say that anymore. It depends on how we're ranking it. If we're ranking characters based off how do I feel about them, sure. But if we're talking about characters in terms of like, how is this character developed? How is their story like progress as the seasons go on? Do they show character growth? Do they grow at all? Then I would have to put Becky near like the top. She grows so much. But Jenna and Becky's friendship was like towards the beginning. We were just introduced to Becky and she was the fucking worst. And I didn't really like Jenna trying to be friends with her, trying to get with Luke. I hated that whole thing. I hated it so much. So I'm putting that shit at the bottom. Sig and Tiny, honestly, Spectacular, give me 14 of them. Sorry, please move. Spectacular, give me 14 of them. Really like their friendship. Yeah, obviously when it started out, I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about this. But then as they both grew as characters, they both grew alongside each other, not like against each other, if that makes sense. They didn't change enough where their friendship no longer meant anything to the other. If anything, the more they grew up as characters, the more that they realized that they are good friends and that they like having each other around as well. And like, they were just amazing. Like, truly, I think one of the best friendships in those later seasons of Degrassi, alongside Maya and Grace, which I remember really liking them. Although again, I'm sure there are moments where, because I watched a video the other day where people were talking about how no one was there for Maya in next class, Grace included. So maybe I need, like I've said a fucking bajillion times, need to do a rewatch, and maybe that'll change my opinion on their friendship, but from what I remember with the rose-colored glasses that I have, I really remember liking them a lot. Then we have Anya. Is that Anya and Riley? Oh my god, yeah. Anya and Riley. Spectacular. Give me 14 of them. The only downside is that I wish we'd gotten more storylines with them and like more time of their actual friendship together. But again, kind of like with Peter, Anya was always there for Riley, my LGBTQ ally. She was always there for him, always supported him, and was one of the few times where I also really kind of liked Riley, because Riley as a character as a whole, not one of my favorites, but his friendships with other people, especially when those friendships are so positive and they're always people who are just there for him. I love it. Anya is such a good friend in my opinion, to most of the people that she's friends with. So yeah, I love them. Then we have how many friendships left? Not that many, thankfully. So we have Craig and Spinner. I could put Craig and Spinner. Oh my god, am I stupid? I said Craig and Spinner. That's Craig and Jimmy. Craig and Jimmy, and I want what they have, because I think they had a really strong, solid friendship. I'm pretty sure this still right here is literally from after Jimmy got shot, Craig visiting him at the hospital, and then them eventually like sneaking him out to have a day of fun. I really like Craig when he is in friendships with guys, I guess. Not so much with girls. Don't like Craig near a woman. But yeah, Craig and Jimmy had a solid friendship. Wish we could have seen more of it as the show progressed. I feel like at a certain point, we just like forgot they were friends. But also, once again, Craig kind of was on and off in the show towards those later seasons, I feel like. But from, I think, at least up until season 6, I want to say solidly, they remained with their friendship, and I really liked it. Then we have Craig and Marco. I can put that in spectacular. Give me 14 of them, only because that friendship gave me one of my favorite lines on the show, which is when Craig says, "So when in doubt, kiss Craig." Yes, when in doubt, you should always kiss Craig. Again, my LGBTQ ally, love it. Always there for him. Yeah, just a solid friendship. Really spectacular. Give me 14 of them. Truly, just for that line alone, where, yeah, when in doubt, kiss Craig. Then we have Miles and Winston. I can put that, I can't say like why are they friends, because their friendship, shall I say, is explained pretty well, and that they have like history together. They were literally introduced into the show together, so like that already, I guess, kind of is explained. And at the end of the day, like when you're in high school, I feel like it's very easy for you to just, or you know, especially if like let's say you meet in middle school or elementary or something, it's very easy for you to like become friends with somebody, like best friends, and then you grow into different people, because I feel like Winston and Miles are pretty different people later on in the show, but because you have that childhood bond, you still kind of are friends. So I'm not going to put them there, but I think I would just put them in No One Moved for me. I didn't really love their friendship. I kind of did, but then I also kind of didn't. But like none of the other categories seem fair for them. It almost makes me think I should have, like, I don't know, I feel like I should have included another category. But then again, no, I don't know. I feel like No One Moved is pretty accurate for them. Then we have Terry and Hazel. No One Moved? What are we talking about? I don't remember that friendship being impactful in any way to be on this list. What are we talking about? They were kind of just friends by association. Well, that's not true. Because like when Terry was getting abused, Hazel was heavy there for her. And she really cared, and she stuck up, you know, a lot for Terry. You know what? I can put them in I want what they have, actually, because truly, especially since they barely got screen time on the show, Terry because she left early, Hazel because she was Hazel. I guess we didn't get a lot of time with them, but the time we did get was just like Hazel being a girl's girl and being supportive of Terry and being there for her. So I can put them in I want what they have. That is the kind of friendship that I think I would want, just a chill, normal friendship. Then we have, is this Paige? Yeah, Paige and Allie. I guess because what I kind of mentioned earlier, where I said that really that trio was mostly Paige and Marco being friends, and Ellie and Marco being friends, and then Paige and Ellie being friends by association. I kind of have to put them in why are they friends. I did like their bond, but especially the way they ended things in Degrassi Takes Hollywood made it clear, unfortunately, to the audience that their friendship was never this deep bond, clearly, because they never reconciled. It wasn't even a focus on the episode. It didn't matter, I guess. So I have to kind of put them in why are they friends, because I guess they weren't really friends, but I did like their dynamic. I guess it's just ultimately, they really weren't friends like that. They were just friends because their best friend is friends with the other. And then we have Shantae and Jenna. No one moved. I don't care. I'm not gonna put them why are they friends because they were friends because they were both on the power squad, but like, did anyone move? Does anyone care? What's going on? I remember, like, because one of the episodes that I just rewatched was the episode with the diet pills, and Shantae was good to Jenna there, but I don't remember that friendship ever being anything super big enough for me to be like, yeah, let me put them on this damn list, like, near the top or anything. It's not happening. And then, is that Spinner? Yeah. Is that Spinner? I think so. We're these fucking pictures. Spinner and Marco. I can put it in... that's hard. Because I feel like as the show went on, their friendship was tested a lot. And even in the beginning, their friendship was tested a lot. Because when Marco came out, Spinner was like the only guy who was initially like unsupportive and just didn't really understand, I guess. But then he grew so much from it and had Marco's back, but then also I don't remember their friendship having much of an impact after the whole shooting storyline and after the truth was revealed. I can put them maybe in that's hard. I'll put it in Love It But Not For Me. I do like their dynamic and their friendship enough where I don't want to put them anything lower than that, but I don't think it's for me. Like, I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with an initial reaction to finding out your best friend is gay, like being negative, I guess, and not because you are homophobic, and Spinner was being kind of homophobic, but mostly because you just don't understand it. It's a different time. Also, I think it was like 2002 or 2003, but I feel like right there I would have disassociated from the friendship, and I would not have continued to have a friendship with you personally after that. And then Zoe and Grace. I just said Zoe and Grace. I repeat, I'm not okay, guys. I'm not okay. I'm not. Sig and Grace, good friendship. I can put it in like I want what they have. I don't feel too strongly about them, but they did have a good friendship, and I think Grace was like a good friend to Sig, and Sig was overall a good friend to Grace from what I remember. They were just kind of there for each other, didn't have too many problems with one another. And then this is Danny. Again, guys, I'm literally so not here. It's crazy. And what's crazier is I have plans later today and I'm supposed to be a functional human being. Anyway, we have Dave and Drew. No one moved. I don't care about these two characters. I don't care about Dave that much, like at all. Kind of already stated that. Also previously stated in other videos, I don't really care about Drew. And, I'm tired. Sorry. Didn't really move. The friendship didn't make much of an impact to me personally. I kind of like Dave's friendship with Adam, if anything. I don't know if this will be on that, or if that friendship will be on this list later, but we'll see. Now, Spinner and Jimmy are like the archetype of the category Love It But Not For Me, because their friendship is iconic. It's top tier. It's one of the best friendships on the show, the OG show. Their friendship lasts multiple years, basically for their entire run on the show. They are friends, sort of, right? We'll get to it. The only time that they're not friends is because of what Spinner does that inadvertently like causes Jimmy to become paralyzed, and that's why I have to put it in not for me, because simply it's not for me. If one of my best friends had a direct role, unfortunately, or an indirect role, however you want to see it, in me getting shot and paralyzed for the rest of my life and like completely changing my life because I wanted to be a professional basketball player, and now I couldn't because I was paralyzed. Personally, I don't think I'm gonna see through it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to to move on and, you know, be the bigger person. It's just not for me. I'm going to be petty actually for the rest of my life, and we're never going to talk again. Maybe until years later, and even then we're never going to be friends again, you know? And then who the hell is this? I'm so serious. Why are these photos? I think that's Jane and Darcy. That has to be Jane, right? No one moved. I don't remember this friendship. And 2 of Spinner's ex-girlfriends. Yeah, I feel like if they had to have been friends, they must have been friends during season 6 or 7. Don't remember it enough though to be like, yeah, I feel strongly about this. And then is this who I think it is? Yes, it is. Oof, Claire and Allie. Now, whenever I think of Claire and Allie, I always think of season 11. Is it? Yeah, in season 11 when Allie kisses Jake, and then Claire forgives Jake but doesn't forgive Allie. That's so fucking wild and crazy to me. I sometimes think they deserve to be in Love It but Not For Me. But besides that one moment, really, in my humble opinion, they actually had a really strong friendship, if not one of the strongest. So I could easily put them in, spectacular, give me 14 of them. I think that Claire and Allie were the definitive friendship of the later generation. They were like the Emma and Manny, if you will. But what was so great about it is that Emma and Manny were actually really toxic friends, who like treated each other like absolute shit sometimes, versus I don't feel like Claire and Allie were really like that. My only complaint with the pairing is probably that I feel like in later seasons, like I guess maybe post season 11, right, I feel like we don't get a lot of their friendship as much as we should. That's my only complaint there, but I still really like them. Then we have, is that Anya? Yeah, this is Anya and Mia. Again, Anya is just such a great friend to everyone. But no one moved because I don't remember it that much. I do remember, I think they both were going for Sav at one point alongside Holly J. Everyone just liked Sav. I would too. And obviously Anya got him in the end, but Anya and Mia must have still remained friends because Anya was just nice to everyone for the most part versus Holly J was a total bitch, right? So I'm sure like they had a decent friendship, but like no one moved because Mia made almost no impact for me as a character. And then speaking of the freaking G's, Emma and Manny, I have to put them in Love It but Not For Me because I'm so serious. Like really rewatch the show sometimes and like, would you want a friendship like Emma and Manny's? Like, do I want a friendship where I'm gonna get slut shamed, or a friendship where we're sometimes also vying for the attention of like the same person? Because at one point they both had a crush on Craig. They both ended up dating Damien at later times. I don't think those two like coincided, thankfully, but still both dated the same guy. Weird behavior. And yeah, just they always had so many fucking fights that I was like, you can't be serious right now with this pairing. Like the way that Emma was so holier than thou sometimes against Manny, and then the fact that Emma dated Peter after Peter sent the entire world a video of Manny taking her shirt off. Crazy fucking behavior. It could not be me. I don't want it to be me, but overall they're so iconic. I still love them. They are the OG friendship of the show. Just a little bit wild if you think about it. And then here we go with the second half of the trio. So here I have to put them in spectacular. Give me 14 more of them. Again, my only complaint with Adam and with Claire is that I wish we could have seen more of them as the show progressed. I feel like after that initial breakup, as I previously mentioned, we didn't really get much scenes, and especially between these two, we definitely got still more scenes with Eli and Adam than we did, I feel like, with Claire and Adam. Then we have Frankie and Shay. I remember liking their friendship. I don't remember them having too many big issues in the way that Shay and Lola had, like chasing after the same guy. So I can put them in I want what they have, but I put that there only because I don't think they belong in the two bottom categories. But I mean, I'm not even gonna bother repeating the same spiel about my, next class memory. Then Jenna and Allie, I can put them in I Want What They Have. I think they have a solid friendship. Allie was basically the reason that, from what I remember, Jenna was kind of incorporated into that group initially. It's a little weird that Allie would want to even be friends with Jenna or be friendly with her after what Jenna did to Claire. That couldn't be me personally. Like, I would never tell my friends, like, hey, you need to pick sides, or like, you can't be friends with somebody. Oh my God, I'm so tired. You can't be friends with somebody who, did this to me. I wouldn't give them that ultimatum, but it's the bare minimum that I would expect from them. So it is a little weird that Allie still wanted to be friends with Jenna, but that's more so affecting Allie and Claire's friendship than it is Allie and Jenna's. When you just take Allie and Jenna together, they were actually really good friends together. I really liked their dynamic, and I don't really think they ever had too many problems, just the two of them. I think they were always really there for each other. Then we have Tori and Maya. I do not love it. No, so I can't put it there. I'm going to put it in Why Are They Friends? Because why are they friends? Like, they were really only friends. Let's be serious. They were only friends because they were introduced in season 11 as freshmen together. And the show was like, oh, we don't really know what to do with these freshmen, so we're just going to kind of like make them a friend group, even though it actually makes no sense because Maya and Tori were both like thirsting after Zig, and Zig was a little slutty bitch in the beginning. And yeah, I don't know why they were friends. And then they tried to like make me believe that they were genuine, like, good friends even after like all the stuff that they went through in the beginning. A little crazy, if you ask me. This looks like Grace and Tiny. I can put that in I Want What They Have. I really just like the friendships from that next class generation, but specifically the ones that transferred over from the original Degrassi. So I'm talking like the Zig, the Maya, the Zoe, the Grace, the Tiny. That friendship group I really, really, really like. Casey and Connor had potential, but I don't really feel like we saw a lot of it. So I'm going to put it in No One Moved because I don't remember them enough. Obviously, they were friends in the beginning when Casey was first introduced, because kind of similar to like the 9th graders from season 11. The 9th graders from season 8 were just kind of put together because they were all new characters. At least they tried to make it a bit more believable by, I think they were all in the honors program together, so sure. But yeah, I don't know. Then Lola and Frankie, I guess we can put them in I Want What They Have, kind of like how I put Frankie and Shay there as well, because I did like that friendship. Like, that was one of my favorite highlights from the next class / later Degrassi era. I mentioned like that friendship group of the seniors, right, of like Grace and Maya, Zig, Tiny, but the juniors directly below them, so like Frankie, Shay, and Lola, even though they had their moments, which actually that actually just reminded me, I have to move them. Oh my God, I actually had to put them in Love It But Not For Me, because I don't think it was Lola's fault from what I remember, but if I remember correctly, I like Winston and Lola kiss, even though I think it was Winston who initiated it. They kiss when he's dating Frankie. So actually, yeah, good thing I remembered that. Yeah, that's actually not for me. Yeah. Oh my God, is this Connor? Yeah, Connor and Wesley. Spectacular. Give me 14 of them. I kind of already mentioned that when I mentioned, I think they're called the Treble Tenors. And I think that Wesley and Connor had the stronger potential dynamic of like friend fun group or friend fun duo to get up to shenanigans into, like to get into shenanigans and like be funny and just be like a bit of light for the show. And the only sad thing is that I don't really think we ever see Wesley again after like a certain season. I think it's like season 11 or something. Like, I don't even know where that man goes, truly. Eli and Fiona, prime example of like spectacular. Give me 14 of them, because once again, as I've already mentioned, I'm not going to repeat it verbatim, Degrassi had to find a way to incorporate Fiona into this new class, and they did it so well. They already kind of started planting those seeds even before, because this is from like season 11, kind of. What was it, season 11? Yeah, I think it was season 11. They already kind of started planting those seeds when they made the Eli and Fiona friendship, because Eli and Fiona worked on the same like play together. I think she was the director and he was the writer, and they formed a friendship over that, which then evolved as they were now suddenly in the same class, as they were both seniors since Fiona got held back, obviously. And their friendship together was just so good. It was so strong. I literally loved it so freaking much. It was one of those friendships that you didn't see coming. You wouldn't have expected it. But then once you did get it, you were like, oh, I actually like love this friendship. And I'm surprised how well these two characters mesh together and how much chemistry they have. And yeah, they were one of the most unexpected parts of season 11 that I really found much joy in. Speaking of Anya and Fiona, I can put them in I Want What They Have. Please be serious. I want to put them in I Want What They Have. I don't think they're iconic enough to be like spectacular, give me 14 of them, but they had a really good friendship. Also kind of became friends by association because they were both friends with Holly J at the time, but then they had a good bond. Solid friendship. Didn't really have any issues. They were great. I loved them. Oh my god. I think this is Danny and Danny, right? I can't put them in Why Are They Friends, because it kind of makes sense why they were friends in the beginning. And like I said, they kind of explain it well, that I think they had like history prior to the show and everything. But I'm literally going to put them in No One Moved. I almost want to put them in a lower category than that, because like just a Danny and Danny category, because the racist fucking joke prank that he played on Danny was so disgusting and potentially dangerous, and he's so fucking lucky that nothing bad came from it. And I literally would have never been friends with somebody if they ever did something like that to me. Our friendship is actually over after that. So if I could put them even lower than No One Moved, I would, truly. Then we have Holly J and Fiona. Obviously, I have to put them, give me a second, in spectacular, give me 14 of them. They did have some weird beginnings to their friendship, you know, with Fiona's adoration, if you will, love for her brother. A little weird, a little incesty. I don't want to talk about it. But then once they became friends, I really liked their friendship. They had a really solid friendship. I really liked it. And yeah, it was one of the highlights of the later seasons of the show. And it really made me worried that after Holly J left the show and Fiona was left on her own, like, would I still like her character? Would she find anyone again? And then thankfully she did, right? And it was just beautiful to see. I absolutely loved it so much. Yeah, I just loved their friendship. It was one of the highlights of the later seasons. And then we have, who the hell is this? Is this Spinner and Jay? I'm just going to presume this is Spinner and Jay because I cannot see from this picture who the hell this is, so I'm going to assume it's Jay. Spinner and Jay, I would have to put them ultimately... You know what? Give me 1 second. I'm going to have to like move around a little bit because, you know, my screen is small. I'm going to put them in spectacular, give me 14 of them. Now, the reason that they are not like... I feel like they maybe belong in Love It, but not for me. I don't really think that, because once again, their one thing that they did within their friendship that really fucking sucked and pissed me off had nothing to do with their friendship. And it only really affected other friendships, like Spinner and Jimmy, right? So when we just take Spinner and Jay together, they had one of the longest, strongest bonds in the show. They remained friends till the very end, and they actually were good friends for each other. Maybe not for other people at certain times, but they were good friends for each other. And I really liked their friendship a lot. Probably my favorite Spinner friendship in the long run, only because Spinner and Jimmy are like probably number 2, despite everything. But Spinner and Jay probably have to be number 1. And then this is Adam and Imogen. Oh my god, this is how we started my last Degrassi couples video. Adam and Imogen, love it but not for me, if that makes sense. Like, let's look at their friendship only, take out the cheating relationship aspect of it, and whenever you do that, their friendship was actually kind of cute and had like potential to be a friendship that I really liked. But unfortunately, then when you include the romantic aspects of it, that makes me like it a little bit less, and for that reason it's not for me. But the like concept of these two people being friends and whatnot, I do like that, and I do think they had a good friendship. This looks like Drew, right? Yeah, Drew and Imogen. No one moved. Oh, what just happened? Unpinned, sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna put them in no one moved. I do just like Imogen's friendships in general, but I just dislike Drew so much. And again, I think they were really only friends through association. But yeah, no one moved. Sorry. Next. Jay and Sean. I can put this one and like love it, but not for me, because unfortunately, since Sean wasn't on the show much, I do think if Sean had stayed on the show, he probably would have remained friends with Jay permanently, and he could have had like even a friendship with Spinner. Isn't that kind of funny? Sean and Spinner being friends, knowing what happens later. Anyway, they could have potentially even been like a little trio, but since that didn't happen, we didn't get to see a lot of them. And the things that we did see is when Jay was just an absolute scoundrel, and I think he brought out some of the worst in Sean's character. So for that reason, it's just like not for me personally. And then is this Terry? No, this is Paige. Paige and Hazel. I'm gonna put this in like love it, but not for me. I felt like it was a little bit too much of like just a friendship where one person is like in a position of power and authority, and the other is just a follower. And for that reason, I'm not like super into that kind of dynamic, but they did have a good friendship in theory. So I guess I love it, sure. Is this Dave? Yeah. Dave and Connor. Yeah, like again, love it, but not for me for the exact same reason as Dave and Wesley. I feel like Dave sometimes really thought that he was better than them. And especially, he treated Connor like shit sometimes. And I love Connor, so yeah, not for me. And now this friendship, I'm sure was great. I remember liking it. I'll just put in I want what they have, because I remember Lola really being there for her when she was coming to terms with her gender, and like with the, I think she ended up being like non-binary, or I guess they, right, ended up being non-binary. But yeah, I remember Lola being good in that respect, but I don't remember much else of that friendship. And then this is another next class friendship, and you're doing me so wrong, like so astronomically wrong, by only including a back shot of this person's head and not their face. You cannot be serious right now. I'm pretty sure that's the person who, like, I feel like I remember her face. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to put them in no one moved, because you did me fucking wrong with that photo and trying to have me remember who the fuck that is. I feel like I know who it is. Like, I feel like if I saw their face, I'd be like, oh yeah. I don't remember if that's who ends up dating Zoe or ends up dating somebody else. I don't fucking remember. Anyway, no one moved. Toby and Emma, we can put as just, I want what they have. They had a pretty solid friendship, kind of like Toby's most of his friendships. I don't know how many other Toby, if any, friendships will be on here. But yeah, just nice, gorgeous gowns. Now, Holly J and Jane, I'm gonna put them in spectacular. Give me 14 of them. I really liked their friendship. It was one of those things as well where Holly J's first real friendship on the show was with Jane, really, because Anya, and the way she treated Anya, I don't really think counts as a friendship in seasons like 7 to 9. So I think that her first real friendship was with Jane, and Jane was just so straight up with her and saw through the bullshit and was so nice, and we really got to see Holly J, like a new side of her, and I really liked that. And kind of like I said, similar to how when Holly J left, I wasn't sure if like what was going to happen to Fiona, and then I ended up loving it. I feel like kind of the same way for Holly J, because after Jane graduated and left, I was like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen with Holly J. Like, she doesn't really have anybody. But then thankfully they paired her up with Fiona, and that was another excellent friendship up here. Holly J is just like genuinely a good friend when she wants to be. The only reason that that Holly J and Anya are even up here truly is because I love Holly J so much in the later seasons, because yeah, she was really such shit in the beginning. Loved her, but she was such shit, and she's just great. She's a very girl's girl. And then Holly, Jade, and Spinner. Ugh. I discussed this couple. I'm pretty sure in my ranking of the couples, they obviously weren't a real couple. They never actually happened. She just had like an unrequited crush, and that was Jane's boyfriend, so a little sus. But that was really before her and Jane were friends. And I'm just going to put it in I want what they have. Yeah, I think I want what they have. I want that kind of friendship and dynamic and potentially romantic pairing, like sexual tension. Like, I want what they have, period. And then Liberty and Toby, I'm going to put it in love it, but not for me. That's not true. I'll put it in I want what they have. Minus that weird time that they tried to romantically put them together for like an episode. I'm going to subtract that for the sake of being nice. And then I can put them in I want what they have. I think they had a good friendship. I think Toby was one of the people who like was never super mean to Liberty. Because I think some of the girls were pretty mean to Liberty, in my humble fucking opinion. But not Toby, you know? And then Craig and Sean. So I do remember that Craig, like one of the first people he meets and really becomes friendly with is Sean. But then I don't remember that pairing necessarily being super close much after that initial like season. So I'm gonna put it in just like no one moved, because I do understand why they were kind of friends, even though they were also in different grades, I believe. So that was a little bit unique at the time, because like I said previously, we didn't get a lot of that. But yeah, I just don't really remember their friendship much after the initial introduction of Craig and like those initial season, really, because then Craig becomes so embedded in the group of like Jimmy and Spinner and Paige and Marco, like, you know, people of his class, that I feel like we don't really get much of this later on. And then Liberty and Emily. I love Emily. She's actually my favorite Degrassi character. Liberty and Emma, love it, but not for me. Yeah, I think a lot of those female friendships from the first few seasons were genuinely not for me. They're not friendships that I would want or that I would wish upon anyone except for maybe my enemy. But in theory, loved it. They were the OG female friendships of the show. And then Dave and Eli, were they friends? I'm pretty sure I probably would have liked the dynamic enough, because I just like Eli enough that I would like any dynamic he has with anyone, even fucking Dave. But like realistically, why would they be friends? Like really sit down for a moment and like let's talk and discuss, like why would they be friends? And now that I'm thinking about it, I think they actually also become mostly friendly because of the play, which I did like Dave during the play. That was one of the few times I liked him. So I am remembering a little bit more of their friendship now. I guess it was kind of cute. But yeah, again, I'm going to stick by why are they friends? I don't know. It's how I feel. Dave and Adam. Now, I obviously did not like that episode where Dave is like so fucking mean to Adam. Like so judgmental, so offensive. Very on brand for Dave, sadly. But once they got over that hurdle and like he really educated himself and apologized, I actually think they had one of the strongest friendships in the later time. So I'm gonna put them in I want what they have. I do. I think they had a really strong, solid friendship. Casey and Drew, no one moved. I didn't move, you didn't move, no one moved, I don't fucking care. Yeah, anyway, down to the last line. So Casey and Dave, no one moved. No one moved. No one fucking moved. I do remember their friendship from season 10, and like, yeah, it was kind of cute. I don't care that much. Zoe and Maya, that's crazy. Love it, but not for me. If you've seen the show, come on, be so serious. The love triangle, I'm pretty sure it was Zoe who, I don't know if she sent nudes necessarily, but she sent some kind of video of Maya around. Child pornography case, be serious. The messiness of it all. Yeah, it followed them into next class too. One of the messiest fucking friendships I've ever seen, but I actually also love them because I am a little messy. And then Manny and Liberty. This is a little bit tougher. I feel like Manny was a little bit nicer to Liberty than, say, Emma. Emma was just kind of the worst sometimes. But I think I would still, I don't know. I might put them in I want what they have. I think they had a solid enough friendship with less dramatic moments than, say, Manny and Emma or Liberty and Emma, right? Where I could probably put them in I want what they have, and why not? And then Zoe and Miles, call me toxic, but I want what they have. And not even in a romantic way. I think they were actually at their strongest, and I liked them together the most when they were just kind of friendly with each other. And I did kind of ship them. I've mentioned that before. I did kind of ship them, but even just as friends, I think they had a strong bond. And they kind of just meshed off each other so well. Like, or bounced off each other so well. Like, I don't know. They were a really good friendship. And then is this Shantae? Yeah, Shantae and Holly J. I was actually rewatching, like I said, season 10, and I rewatched the episode where Declan comes to visit, and Shantae, I feel like she gives Holly J some looks of like, girl, what the fuck? Like, when she has that scene where she's like, do you guys hear yourself right now? When Fiona and Holly J are like talking all rich, spoiled. But then she also has moments where she really stands up for Holly J. Like when Declan was being persistently annoying and she was like, drop it. You know, like standing up for Holly J. And kind of like actually showing concern. So I guess I'll put them in I want what they have. I almost kind of put them in like, why are they friends? Because I really feel like Shantae does not like Holly J. But then I remember that episode that I literally just saw, and I'm like, no, she kind of does care about her. So I can put them in I want what they have. And then Zig and so serious. Everybody pause the video, pause the fucking video. Who is this? Like, do I in theory remember this man? Yes. Do I remember his name? No. Do I remember his character? No. Do I remember this plot line? No. This is like, to me, textbook. No one moved. Now Marco and Ellie, we saved one of the best for last. This is obviously give me a second, spectacular. Give me 14 of them. Out of the trio that I've already previously mentioned, I think they obviously had the strongest bond, and the strongest friendship, one of the longest running, one of the deepest, most emotional, and I don't think it's, a coincidence that in Degrassi Takes Hollywood, when that trio completely breaks apart, Paige loses her connection to Marco and her connection to Ellie all in one. It is Ellie and Marco who remain there for each other at the end of the day, because I feel like they were the heart of that trio, and they really had one of the strongest friendships in the entire show. It was great. It was just great to see. We absolutely love it. I don't remember their friendship that much, so I'm just gonna put them in no one moved for time's sake, because I can't even tell you a single thing about them. Now Manny and Darcy, I could put them in like, I almost like, why are they friends? But again, they were Power Squad people together. I actually kind of liked them. I could put them in I want what they have. I think Manny was really there for Darcy and very understanding and empathetic during the whole season 7 storyline. And yeah, just a pretty solid friendship, I think. Nothing to write home about, of course. Then Zoe and Tristan, I could definitely put them in I want what they have. I think that was probably one of Tristan's strongest friendships besides Maya, and unfortunately that has to be down here because I think that they were just a little bit too messy for me. But I think that Zoe and Tristan were a bit more solid and a bit more like on equal footing and less messy overall from what I remember. Then we have, is this Bianca and Fiona? Barely remember it. No one moved, but I'm assuming they would have been friends during the time, like I mentioned at least 2 times prior, when Bianca was dating Drew and Drew was Fiona's roommate. And then finally, Anya and Leia. I would just put it in I want what they have, because since I was rewatching those season 10 episodes, I also rewatched the episode where you find out that Anya's mom has cancer, and it's like one of the few times we see Leia, like in season 10, truly. She just kind of drops off the face of the earth. But she was really like a good friend to Anya. She was also kind of a good friend to Mia. I've actually spoken before that one of the few times where Leia had like a good character arc was when she was standing up to Mia in that Uptown Girls episode. But yeah, she was just overall a pretty boring a boring, forgettable character. So I can't rank her too high or anything, but yeah, like
honestly, she was a good friend, and Anya's been a good friend. Anya's always a good friend. So good friendship, good solid friendship, and I think they were just kind of solid girls to each other, you know? But yeah, this is my final list. I feel like there are definitely more. I want what they have, but the Spectacular Give Me 14 of them is just friendships that are truly so iconic to me. Some of them are just iconic, period, to the show. Think like your JT and Toby's, you know, your Craig and Ellie's, Craig and Ellie, your Marco and Ellie's. But then you have just some that I literally love just personally for me, like Jake and Mo, or Wesley and Connor, right? I want what they have are just like good friendships. I think anyone who watches the show can mesh with these friendships. Love it, but not for me is the most subjective category. It's in the name. It's not for me, and I explained for every single person here why that is. Why are they friends is thankfully not too long of a list, and like I said, I think I did a pretty good job of explaining the people on there, like why are they friends. And No One Moved is really just a mixture category of friendships I dislike for some reason or another, or friendships that are truly kind of like forgettable, boring. I genuinely don't remember. Like, I'm so sorry to this girl right here. Be serious. So yeah, this is my final Degrassi friendships tier list. I think I'm going to be done with tier list for a little bit. Just for a little bit. I think I want to do an in-person video again next time that I do a video. I think I'm going to do a spoiled milk video, potentially, like a spoiled milk fine wine. But if not, I do have an idea for a video that I really want to do, but I don't want to wait like a whole year to do it, because I had like a concept for it in my head, but I don't want to wait a whole year to do it. So maybe I'll just do it this year, whatever, bite the bullet. And yeah, that gives like no information as to what I'm thinking of doing, but yeah, just know it's Gilmore Girls related. And yeah, it specifically has to do with the fucking reboot from hell. So yeah, or I guess it's not really a reboot, it was like a revival, sorry. So yeah, stay tuned for a potential Gilmore Girls video if I choose to do it. It'll be an in-person video again instead of a voiceover video. And I'm going to go edit this video now and listen to my voice, and I hope to God that I don't sound like too annoying, or my yawns weren't too annoying, or that you can't hear my stomach this time, because I am a little hungry. I am always hungry. So yeah, I'm going to end it here. You should definitely subscribe if you want to. If I got to 800 followers, that would be really cool, really cool. So yeah, I'm out of here. Bye.